what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg, and guess what? I have one of the most iconic supercars of all time. This is it. This is a 2009 Audi R8. But before we get into this 6-speed manual equipped supercar, let's talk about what's going on here. Audi. We all know that they've been around for decades and really made a name for themselves when they added quattro all-wheel drive to their rally cars and just decimated the field. Now, in the early 2000s, Audi came out with a prototype race car called the Audi R8R. That car went on to dominate at the coveted 24 Hours Le Mans, so much so that Audi decided to take that V8 and bring it into a supercar, hence the Audi R8. Now, the vehicle has changed over the recent years, especially with the addition of V10 power, but one thing that the V10 doesn't have that this 2009 R8 has is a gated 6-speed manual transmission. So what I want to do is I want to find out if you're looking for a used supercar, is the R8, especially with the 6-speed manual, the one to buy, say, over a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or even a Porsche, like a 911 Turbo. Let's go ahead, let's dive into our bright silver R8 and find out. Right off the bat, what I love about the car is that it's been an evolution rather than a revolution. So even though it's a 2009, there's a lot of aesthetics that match with a brand new R8. Now at the front of the business, we're gonna have to get super low because the headlights are just mounted on the front fascia at that height level. You're gonna have that projector beam LED headlight. You'll notice our old style turn signal bulbs. Remember, this is 2009, so we're not gonna zonk it because lighting technology has progressed with everything else technology-wise, but I love the way they did the shape. And then you'll notice that we do have functionality on the lower corners to bring cool air for the heat exchangers. I like the way there's these horizontal flat black slots to help channel that air, and it makes it look really aggressive. The great news is this is functional. On the new R8, there's a lot of non-functional vents, and that's why we zonk those. This is functional. Now, as we come across that low slung hood, here's that interpretation of the Audi open face grille. You're gonna have some gloss black, the Quattro badge, which means that we have all-wheel drive. That is the Italian word for 4, all-wheel drive, and then working your way down, you have a little bit more gloss black, horizontal slots to bring cool air, like I said, for the front-mounted radiator. Now, as we get up onto the low-slung hood, this is a mid-engine car, so what does that mean? The engine is in between the front axles and the rear axles, just like a Ferrari, just like a Lamborghini. We'll open this up when we get to those parts of the review, but I do just like the cleanliness of the lines. German styling on this R8 is just super clean from front to back. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheels and tires on our R8. You're gonna get these split spoke wheels, gloss black. Really love the way it shows off the fully cross-drilled 2-piece and fully ventilated rotors, and you're gonna get that massive, even though it's 2009, massive 6-piston caliper with the R8 badge on it. Looking really slick, looking really good, and obviously you're gonna have that ability to brake performance-wise and accelerate. If you're wondering, well, what's the size of this wheel? It's a 19-inch wheel, only 235 on the width, 35 series sidewall. The reason why it's a little bit skinnier wheel and tire up front is to give us some quicker steering. But remember, we got all-wheel drive that's gonna help grip the surface just like Gorilla Glue. Now, coming down the side, you do have your painted mirrors with your LED lighting. I love that low roof line. And then one of the things that was a unique style to the R8 is this massive blade. Some of the models you could get a carbon fiber. This one is just your gloss black, but this is gonna help scoop the air. I'm gonna have Steven kind of come around and show how it just scoops the air into the side here to get to that naturally aspirated V8. Another thing I like is the race car inspired fuel filler door with the R8 logo there. And then as we come to the rear, let's focus on the rear tire. So you still have 19-inch wheels. 19-inch wheels up front, 19-inch wheels out back. Out back, we have 295 on the width. So, and a massive 4-piston caliper with the R8 badging on it. So I love the way the silver with the black accents and the black wheels just pops nicely. And having that extra 295 rubber to meet the road is gonna give us that grip, because remember, the Quattro all-wheel drive system sends power forward and rear. Most of it's gonna go to the rear to really get that car to pivot around the bends. Now, as we come around the bend of the tail, you'll notice, just like a Ferrari, just like a Lamborghini, we have a clear glass window in the hatch. That's gonna show off that naturally aspirated V8 power. We'll talk more about that once we open up the hatch, but I love seeing the jewelry there. Just stunning to just have that. It's almost like you could hang that on the wall in your house as a piece of artwork. You'll notice the venting on both sides of the glass to get that hot air out. We also have venting out back as well, and this is a spoiler that will raise and lower at speed. So not only are you getting some ventilation, but you're also getting extra downforce by the automatic raising rear spoiler. Now, taillights, just like the headlights, even though it's 2009, still look very, very modern and sporty. You're gonna have functionality in the back. Quad tip exhaust. As we kind of show the width of the back of this car, the quad tip exhaust just looks really, really sinister, blacked out on the Audi Auto Union badge. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop that engine hatch and talk horsepower of this manual transmission R8. All right, guys, we got the rear hatch open. Feast your eyes on that absolute thing of beauty. First of all, I love that this is a V8, naturally aspirated V8. That intake plenum is so beautiful with the Audi badges on it, the nice flat silver powder coated finish. But what are we actually talking about besides the looks? You're looking at that naturally aspirated V8 that pumps out 480 horsepower. So with the 6-speed manual transmission, you're looking at 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat, as long as you know how to dance on your twinkle toes. Quarter mile is gonna go by at 12.6 seconds, and then the car weighs 3,540 pounds. And if you're wondering about MPGs, first of all, let me show you a Prius if MPGs really are a thing for you to be concerned about. But combined, you're looking at 14 miles to the gallon. So as you can see, we have moved on technology-wise when it comes to 0 to 60. You look at the DCTs and the automatic transmissions, it may not sound like a fast supercar going 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, but with a top speed close to 200 miles per hour and that unique driving experience with the manual, wait until you hear this thing fire up. Speaking of the sound, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's fire up this R8 and hear its roar. All right, guys, we're inside this 2009 Audi R8. This is a very special moment for both of us because it's actually the first time I've ever been behind the wheel of a V8 powered R8 and one with a manual transmission. So we're both very, very lucky. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. Joe, I remember. I know what this car was brand new. I read Car and Driver, Road and Track, Automobile Magazine. I even watched Motor Week every Sunday. MSRP was right around $120,000, wasn't it? You are correct. MSRP for this car, $120,000. Now the price is $88,000 and it has around 37,000 miles on it. Let's see how it has aged and if this is the supercar you should buy with your hard-earned money. To the door panels. Love the cleanliness of the door panel. Nice soft touch material, no gloss black. You got the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and what's great is you got a good sized pocket there for, I would say, 2 Chipotle burritos, maybe even an extra side of guac in there. Now going from the door panel to the dash, soft touch material, you got the Quattro badge, that all-wheel drive history, and then we get to the center stack. It's crazy to think that back in 2009, this was the technology, but that is your infotainment. It's around a 5-inch screen. You do have navigation. Everything else is going to be straight up radio controls, and that's about it. I like the way they have the official Audi Twinkie slot for 2 Twinkies to slide in. You got your physical AC controls, just standard AC, temperature and blower fan, and then you do have heated seats, which is great. No ventilated seats in this vehicle. This, though, is where the magic happens. Just like when you're a little kid and your parents said knock on the door of their bedroom because that's where the magic happened, this is where it happens in here. Nice, slick shifting, 6-speed, gated manual transmission, just like you would find in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini that has a manual transmission. I love the engagement. The throws are a little bit long, but the engagement is very, very crisp, and it's a sexy shift knob with that gated shifter area. You'll have the ability to stiffen or soften the suspension, raise or lower the rear spoiler, so when you're going through the mall, you could show off your rear spoiler and say, hey, look at me, and push that button. You got a nice little tray here for some Jolly Ranchers, mechanical e-brake, 2 cup holders, but you're not drinking in my Audi. And then you do have a small little center console area where you could put your 1/43rd scale model of your R8 that you had back when you were in high school and you were just dreaming about getting behind the wheel of one of these cars. Seats, of course, full leather, and they aged really nicely. A little bit of sweat from Steven's arms on the seats, but that's okay. They are electric assist for the passenger and the driver. I think the great news in this car is the amount of headroom. Tons of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall. You could do your track day, get the helmet on, but I want to show you behind this flat bottom steering wheel coming over. Let's check out where you're going to be going on throttle in your R8. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. I love when you open up the door, you can see the air intake. You got this nice sill plate with the R8 badge there, all that Audi Sport racing heritage, and then check out the pedal box. Massive dead pedal, clutch, brake, and throttle, all in aluminum, and you got perfect amount of room for heel, toe, downshifting. No automatic rev match technology in this vehicle. You got to do it the old-fashioned way. Sitting here, I love the bolstering. Getting to the seat controls is very easy. And then check out the wheel. Minimalistic, flat bottom. All you have are 2 wheel controls, and that's it. Horn button with the Audi badge. It is a manual tilting and telescoping wheel. And then you got your instrumentation, nicely displayed, tach, speedometer, coolant, fuel, voltmeter, and of course, your oil temp as well. If you're wondering about key fob, this is your key fob. That's your Audi key fob, and you gotta use this thing, the key, to start it up. But why don't we go ahead, I got the keys. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in our R8. All right, guys, one of the things that makes this car an actual usable supercar is definitely up front. Underneath the hood, you do have a front mounted trunk, large enough for at least 1 carry-on bag and a duffel bag. So you could do that road trip very easily in this vehicle, maybe take it to Deals Gap and ride the tail of the Dragon, or maybe go over to California and do the Pacific Coast Highway. But it's nice for a vehicle to have the power, have the manual, but also have the usability. But if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's go slick shifting with the V8 and go on throttle in our Audi R8. All right, guys, we're inside, snug as a bug in a race car rug in this Audi R8. I got the V8 right behind me, and we are gonna do some on throttle acceleration with that manual. Let me put it in a second gear because I don't know if I'm brave enough right now to do on throttle in first gear, but here we go. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle. Yeah, you hear the sound of that V8? Nice. The way a mid-engine car handles, if you've never been in one, it propels you in such a unique way that even though this is not obviously fast as a supercar today, it's definitely plenty quick, and you have this very unique experience that you're not going to be able to recreate, especially with this 6-speed manual. Nice engagement like I was pointing out before. The throws are a little bit long, but nothing too crazy. Into second. On throw, here we go. All the way out to 8,000 RPM. Nice. Nice and stable. Super smooth. Super smooth. Nice. That heel toe downshift. Here we go. Into this right hand bend. That's the best. Hey, look at this. I love the way this car handles. The steering is so precise. It's like you're a doctor, a brain surgeon that's trying to cut out the smallest area without killing your patient. You're able to do that with the steering wheel in this car. The feel, the fit, the finish, the feedback, all the F's are in this Audi R8. Especially fun. That gated 6-speed manual, look at that, look at the grip. All the way around that right-hand bend. Brakes work phenomenal, as they should. Pretty beefy, that's for sure. And the clutch is not very heavy. Good pickup point. It's not like an on-off switch, which those could be really annoying. I am gonna zonk it a little bit. I know you're saying, well, Joe, it sounds so perfect. This must be the perfect car. Close. I would like a little bit more rumble from the V8. That's the one thing I'm missing. I want it to be just a little bit louder. But other than that, it's just such a smooth engine. I mean, when you rev it up to 8,000 RPM, on throw, here we go. Nice. Woo! It's just great to see all of the technology that Audi has done over the years through their rally programs, through their sports car endurance programs. You know, you look at the spec sheets and the win sheets for the mid-2000s, they won Le Mans every year, year after year. And remember, you're going up against some really big names. And then once the R8 street car came out, you have a very formidable, you know, opposition for the competition in this car, because not only is it a good street car, it's a great race car as well. But I tell you, it really shows how this car has aged. And that's one thing you're gonna wanna look at, because I know being inside some of the older Gallardos, there's not really anything to write home about. This though, it still has that familiar feel, but it also, just everything is super tight in here. No creaks, no rattles, nothing like that. Rolling on it. On throw, here we go. On the brakes. Good turn in. That all-wheel drive just keeping you planted. You just let the R's climb. Nice. I want to take this one home. I want to take this one home. I wish I had room for it, but I can't. But anyways, I know that Jeff and everybody at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg wants this R8 back, especially with the gated 6-speed. I hope you've enjoyed this experience. It's been special for me. I hope it's been special for you. We're gonna get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg and wrap this up. I'll see you in a split second. Guys, it's been one of those magical days here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Petersburg with this Audi R8. I definitely gotta thank Jeff, Miro, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this iconic supercar. But let me know what you think. If you had some money and you wanted to get that supercar of your dreams that you've wanted for the past decade or so, is this 2009 Audi R8 with the manual the way that you want to go, the way that you should go? Or would you go a different brand, a different route? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. We gotta thank the slick shifting Stephen Flood of Stephen Flood Photography. He owns manuals. He knows how to drive a manual. That's the only reason why he's a camera person here on Rady's Ride. So show him some love in that comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for knowing how to drive a manual and your excellent camera skills. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.